Good morning, Professor Chan Narith.
Yes.
So, Professor, you are the head department of the Institute of Foreign Language, specialized in the English language, based in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, sir.
Yes.
Sir, today you are participating as a mentor in let's say, a special program that you mentor a number of PhD students, or maybe I shall say PhD candidate,
Yes.
so that they can pursue an ideal way in order to create their proposal for their work, sir. So, sir, here in Kirirom National Park, of course, this is the 10th time, I think, that the entire program has been running since a few years ago, sir.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a bit like, what do you mean by mentoring a PhD candidate for their proposal, sir?
Okay, so we try to work with our mentees to develop their research proposal for the PhD program.
Yes, sir.
So we started with working with them on the research problems, and then help them develop, formulate research questions, research objectives,
Yes, sir.
and also formulate the significance of research. And then we move on to work with them, help them with the literature review. Some people say it's a desk review. Okay, and when they are clear about the conceptual framework for their research, then they can move on to the research methodology. Yeah, so research methodology will help them the direction on what kind of data they are going to collect, and to analyze and answer their research question that have formulated in the earlier process.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But just now, sir, you mentioned a lot of terminology in the research field. Maybe the general public can be a bit, difficult to understand, sir. But the thing that you try to train them is that to let's say, to bring them to to like specific focus. Like normally candidates, they tend to sway out of the topic or something like that.
Yes.
That is why you try to frame them. Is that your work, sir?
Yeah, that's correct. So at the beginning, the candidate will start with a general topic.
A general topic.
Yeah, so we work together with them. That's what we say by mentorship. Okay, mentoring meaning that mentor is working with the mentee. The candidate. Side by side.
Yes, sir.
But the work is done by the mentee. So the mentor is to check and then give feedback. Okay, so they usually start with general topic, and we try to help them narrow it down to a more specific focus that they can formulate the research problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we come to a stage of methodology, preparing them ready for the defense of the proposal.
Yes, sir. So can you offer us a little bit like, what are the topics that you are mentoring them right now, sir? Are the topics similar to each other, or maybe they are drastically different?
They are different. Their topics and research problems depend on the field they are working.
Yes, sir.
For example, one PhD candidate is working on the school management. School leadership
management.
Management, yeah.
Yes,
So
yes,
she's looking for the teacher desire for the management skill undertaken by the school principal, for example.
Yes, sir.
Another PhD candidate is looking for the historical French legacy, in terms of policies of
land management,
something like that, land management, taxation, and also land ownership,
Yes, sir.
things like that. It's very interesting and useful for our country and for our younger generation to get more knowledge about that.
Yes, sir.
And another candidate that I'm working with at this workshop is working with the newspaper during the French colony.
Yes, sir.
The newspapers that try to inject the nationalism, the concept of nation of
yeah.
Cambodia
Through media.
through
during-
media,
during-
yeah,
during
the
that
newspaper
time,
at
yes,
that
sir.
time, yes.
Yeah.
So it's also very useful to me.
Yes, sir.
Another candidate is looking for how can the central bank work with the predictive analytic model for inflation forecasting and also the exchange rate. So the topics are
very
various,
different,
are different according to the field.
Yeah.
The field of work they are working for the governments as well.
Yes, sir. So based on what you have mentioned just now, I have two questions actually,
Okay.
two smaller questions. So the first question is that because the topics are very, very different, just like you mentioned, as a mentor, do you need to understand, each topic deep into its substances, or you only need to understand the framework, because they are so different and of course they are very specific. That is the first question. And the second question is that, sir, going through a number of training that you have done, is there any issue that, or maybe, let's say, problem that the mentee usually face during the mentorship, sir?
Okay, so usually when we mentor the PhD candidate, we select the candidate that have the relevant disciplinary knowledge to the mentor.
Okay, so there's some connection.
Some
also,
connection,
like-
yes.
okay.
But at this workshop, what I'm working with and looking for is to help them reconceptualize the framework and the methodology, and then question them the kind of data that they are going to collect. So usually PhD students, like I experienced when I was taking my PhD, when I went to collect data, I just collected what I think was relevant to my research. But when I started to analyze, then I received questions from my supervisor. Then I realized that I was not really clear much about the conceptual framework.
But how clear is clear, sir?
Make sure that
it's subjective.
okay,
or is
yes.
Or is it objective enough to be clear?
Because the conceptual framework will help us the clear direction to collect the relevant data for us to answer our research questions. But then after that, I realized that the data that I collected was not enough to answer the research questions. So I had to collect the data more. That's why at this stage in this mentorship, we try to help our students, the PhD candidates, to be clear before they go to the fieldwork. So they are ready to collect all relevant data for their research. Yes.
Yes, sir. So normally, just to summarize a bit,
Okay.
so right now you are making what they are finding a bit clearer. Is that what you say?
In their research proposal. So I listen to their short presentation, then I help them, I question them, because because as a mentor at this level, we listen to their presentation of what they plan for their research, and then we question them. So the moment we question, then they start to think, oh, okay, oh, may not be that not much relevant, but then how we can make it relevant, more relevant. So we try to help them shape, revise, shape their research framework, and then research methods clearer than before. Yes.
But if I could ask a bit deeper, sir, like how do you, let's say, consider a proposal to be relevant? Maybe they are too ambitious in their finding, maybe they are too humble in their finding, or is there any other factors that contribute to an idea that this is not that good yet? So how do you push them to be good? So?
Okay, so we the question is that point relevant? Is that method really help you get the right data that you want? So the scope that you are planning to achieve in your research is doable. Okay, so when all these questions are asked, then the moment they started to think about, okay, I have planned too much. Okay,
so they do plan too much most of the time.
They do plan too much. Yeah.
So what happens if they plan too much? Like they spend a lot of time, maybe a lot of money beyond what they are capable of.
That
can be the case also.
Yeah, that can be the case because it's gonna take them more time and more resources to complete the research, and because they are doing the PhD within a time frame. I think some of them only have 1 more year to go. That's why we try to shape to help them, reconceptualize their research before they can go to the field work.
But sir, if they cannot finish in time, do they have the option to extend, or they just like give up the work? Or
I think it depends on the program, and it also depends on the institution. But we follow the regulation from the Ministry of Education, the Department Higher Education as well. For a PhD, as far as I have known, a candidate can spend 3 years full time, but if they cannot complete within 3 years, they can ask for an extension in the other 3 years, I guess. So 6 years altogether.
6 years altogether.
Yeah, because
but that is mostly maximum amount of time.
Amount of time for a PhD candidate. Yes, to complete.
Yes, sir. So back to the program that you are doing right now, sir. Normally, you don't get this in the university. Is this like a bonus to what they do at their learning, medium? So you try to, let's say like, okay, sir.
Okay, so this is a special mentorship program that I have ever witnessed, because the PhD candidates are not only from one university, they are from different universities, and they are working across the boundary, the border. I mean, from one university to other. So they have come from different universities. One candidates from University of Phnom, National University of Phnom.
So not always from Phnom Penh, sir.
Not always from Phnom Penh. Yes. So to me, this model is useful and practical to help our PhD candidates move forward.
So what do they get besides learning at, let's say, their learning medium, sir? What is the extra thing that they get from being here, sir?
Yeah, because in the mentorship program, in this program, we provide more hands-on feedback, and then there is a real time frame for the candidate to undertake and then submit. Okay.
So you mean like a more face-to-face connection, like more intimate connection between the mentor and the mentee in doing the proposal? Is that what you mean?
Right. Yes. Yes. And then the coordinator tries to invite the mentor, resource mentor from different fields. So some mentors from the field of economics, international relations.
Just now the National Bank of Cambodia.
Bank of Cambodia. Some experts should be like in the field of economics, banking, so on and so forth. So I think it's very useful. It's practical, and the candidates have received fruitful, practical, feedback from the mentors to move on. So some mentors, have provided on research problems and move forward, and some mentors provided the feedback on desk review, research framework, for example, and move forward. And they have brought different perspective into their research. So they become clearer and clearer to this point. Okay.
So for now, how many, let's say, PhD candidates are you currently training, sir?
For the faculty of social science, only one.
Oh.
But in here, we try to mentor different candidates, and for this workshop, we focused on the methodology, and then writing a conclusion of the research proposal, and also writing a journal article for publication. So that's the last workshop of the series of this year.
But so the candidate, are they, specifically selected by the committee, or they need to apply beforehand or something like that, sir? And after the training, do they have to contribute something back to the team, sir?
To the team, yes. So after receiving the announcement from the program manager, they apply for that. I heard there were more applicants, but after screening, evaluating their application, only around 10. Around something 10 or more than 10, a little more than 10.
So it's a very small group.
The number. Yes,
it's a very small group.
And now here we have, still 10, more than a little 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So they are from different university.
Yes, sir. So after learning, after being in this training, like for maybe from the start to the finish, sir. So do you hope that they are able to complete their PhD? Or is it like, it's just a training, sir?
I think to talk about the whole PhD is another question.
Lengthy, very lengthy process.
So for now, they are almost ready to submit their proposal.
No, their proposal
only at this stage. Okay, I'm not quite sure if the program continue to offer more assistance on the whole PhD, but so far we have completed at the proposal stage.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, another question regarding the general information on PhD candidate also, but in general, of course, so if a country has more PhD students, of course, generalize a bit, sir, is it a good indication that the country's education system is proceeding forward? And, at the same time, on the contrary, if there is less PhD student in that country, can we say that, okay, the education is not that great yet and it needs improvement, sir?
Well, of course, yes. So more PhD students are needed for our country, because when we have more successful PhD candidates,
yes, sir.
We have a lot of people, competent people who are human capital,
Human resource.
human capitals who can develop knowledge for our society. And the knowledge that they developed, the knowledge base from their research. So we need more PhD candidate to make our education system as well as educational development in our country to grow further.
Yes,
so yeah, I think we need more. Yeah, the more the better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so university PhD programs need to find more effective strategies, models to help our PhD candidate to complete their courses, because usually the PhD candidates, drop off their program easily. Yes.
Yes, sir. But in general, again, like how does a PhD candidate contribute to the country? So like they bring in new knowledge, or is it like they discover something, let's say that no one have discovered before, something like that, sir?
Yes, because when they a PhD means they conduct research. So when a PhD has undertaken research, PhD student has undertaken research on a particular issue, problem,
Yes, sir.
He or she has become an expert in that area.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
PhD students can the human capital that can create knowledge base, the knowledge by research.
I see.
Yes.
I mean, what does it take to become a mentor for the PhD candidates? Like, what do you need to know more than the other in order to become the teacher of the PhD students?
Oh, okay. That's a very interesting question and a very good question.
Yep.
So to become a mentor, so first a mentor should have a PhD first, right?
Okay, yes, sir.
So the experience that he or she has earned during the PhD, working with his or her supervisors during the PhD program, will help the PhD holders to work on the mentorship very well. And then the mentor needs to have a very good knowledge of disciplinary knowledge. For example, if one student's working on historical legacy,
Yes, sir.
in land management,
colonial times,
labor in the colonial time.
Yes, sir.
So the mentor should have such knowledge. If the mentor does not have such knowledge, he or she cannot mentor. Okay, but at this workshop, we have different focus.
Yes, sir.
That's why we are mentoring 5 students from different university with different research focus, but we look at only the research methodology and how to write a conclusion of the research proposal. And
So until they pass their research proposal,
Yes.
only at that time they can continue on their practical research on the field, sir.
Yes. So one more thing to add why a PhD holder can become a mentor is that he or she must have must have experience in publishing the research paper.
The research paper.
Yeah.
Like not only one, but maybe many
research paper, because they need to train their supervisors or mentees to publish the papers as well. So that the expertise they should have. And then only when a PhD candidate has successfully defended the proposal, they go on to the field work to collect data.
Yes, sir.
For their research. Yes.
But the training is only about 3 or 4 days long. So after this, do you have like the post program follow up session along the way, sir?
Yeah, we encourage the PhD candidates here to keep connecting through Telegram.
Telegram,
Yeah,
internet,
what they need more. For example, they can send their questions, and we try to help them further. I think one of the candidate really needs some assistance in terms of academic writing.
Yes,
So
sir.
I asked her to send follow-up questions
Yes, sir.
on the way. Yes,
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 sir.
yes, yes.
So my last question for today's interview, sir, because right now it's a bit windy, of
Okay.
course, because we are sitting on the foot of the Kirirom National Park,
Okay.
which is a mountain, sir. So is it by design or is it by choice that you train the PhD student in a very natural scenery, sir? Is it to tame their focus, or why not do it in the city, sir, where it is closer to their home?
Okay,
Yes,
we thought about the natural, the nature of
Yes,
the
sir.
place here,
Yes,
so
sir.
that our both, I think all of us can have very clear focus on
Yeah.
what we've been doing for these few days. They also had the sport activities as well to help us release all the stressful work,
Yeah, your work also,
on the
yeah.
PhD. Yes,
So being in nature is by choice,
by choice,
not
yeah.
by accident. Sir.
No, by choice.
By choice.
So the program has selected this place for the workshop is very good. Yes.
Yes, sir.